Hello and welcome to Bubby Stories. This is another beautiful story by Gloria Goldrich, and it's one of the traditional stories that are told. And again, this story is also very old, and it's from the 16th century. And it's called Simple Story about by loving man you honor Hashem. And this is the way it goes. There was a very wealthy man, and he had 3 sons. And as the sons grew up, they moved to different towns. The one son became very, very rich, and he got married, and he had a beautiful house, and he had many children. The other son worked very hard, but was very poor, and he lived in the same town as the rich son, but they hardly had anything to do with each other. They barely spoke to each other. Then one day, the father announces that the third son is getting married. So he wrote a nice letter to his rich son saying, listen, please pick up your brother and bring him to the wedding. And whatever you spend money on clothes or shoes or travel money or food or any expenses that you occur while you're coming, please, I will reimburse you for everything. But please take care of your poor brother and make sure that he has all the necessities as well. And please, I'll pay for whatever clothing, whatever food, whatever travel expenses, whatever you do, I will pay for it because you'll be honoring your father and mother, which is the 5th commandment of the Torah. And he writes this in a nice letter, and he sends it to the rich boys, his first son. The son opens the letter, and he's so excited. He tells his wife about the letter, and the wife says, aren't you going to tell your brother about it? And he says, don't worry, I'll take care of him. So they go buy a velvet suits for themselves and vests, beautiful vests for the children, and the girls were in satin and silk dresses, and the wife looked so gorgeous and adorable. They rented a wagon, a beautiful wagon, and the day of the wedding is coming. And the wife says, what about your poor brother? Have you told him? He says, don't worry. And so they're ready to go in the wagon. As they're going in the wagon, they quickly stop by the poor brother's job, and the rich brother just snatches him and throws him into the wagon and says, we're going to a wedding. But the poor brother says, but wait, I didn't even change. My shoes are ripped and my clothes are like this. I can't go like this to the wedding. And so we have no time. And they went to the wedding, and they came to the wedding, and everybody was dancing and celebrating, and because the last son was getting married, and everything was great and happy, and everybody was happy. But the poor brother stayed behind the curtain. He was too embarrassed to come with this shabby jacket and torn up pants, and his shoes had holes in them, and he was so embarrassed to be at this wedding. He didn't want anyone to see him, so he stayed behind. And then after the wedding was over and everything was gone, the wealthy brother comes to his father and he says, you know, these are my expenses for the wagon, for the clothes, for the brand new shoes. for the food, and here's the expenses. And the father said, son, you didn't honor me. You honored yourself. You bought clothes for yourself. You bought clothes for your children. You bought clothes for your wife. You rented this huge wagon with the white horses. And you didn't honor me. You didn't take care of your poor brother and give him nice clothes and nice shoes. I'm sorry. You did not do what it said in the Torah, which is the 5th commandment, honor your parents. You did not fulfill that, and therefore, I'm sorry. I'm not covering your check for all the expenses. So what did you learn from this story? That honoring your parents is not honoring you. When your father or your mother say something, listen to them for what they're saying. And I enjoyed this story. I hope you did too. Thank you for sharing.